Fundraising Family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. Today we're talking about my specialty and my love and my passion, the Fund a Need, also known as the pledge drive, the paddle raise, the special appeal, the live appeal, the cash call, whatever you want to call it. I call it the Fund a Need, so that's what we're going to call it today. Today, I'm going to tell you where you should put your Fund a Need. Should you put it before your live auction, in the middle of your live auction, or at the end of your live auction? How do you know where it goes, and how do you decide where to put it? Before we hop into the video, a huge request. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's a personal goal of mine. I don't make any money from this channel. I just really want to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, consider hitting the red button right down here. Click it. You're in the fundraising family, and you're subscribing to the best fundraising channel on YouTube. With that, let's get into the video. When it comes to special event fundraising, your Fund a Need is the best bang for your buck. It's the best use of your time. You can make the most amount of money. It's your best return on investment. That's why I always counsel my clients to include a Fund a Need in every special event that they hold. Now, second to the Fund a Need is the live auction, which I also adore, but it cannot compare to the reach, to the power, to the participation of the Fund a Need. So if you have a Fund a Need and a live auction, how do you know which order they should go in? If you would have asked me 3 years ago, can you do a Fund a Need first? I would have said, absolutely not. Y'all are crazy. It's never gonna work. You have to do the Fund a Need last. And that's how I counseled all of my clients. But I changed my mind. And now I do it everywhere. I do it in the beginning, I do it in the middle, and I do it in the end. So let's start with the most obvious, the most normal, the most common, the Fund a Need after the live auction. The most popular place to put your Fund a Need is after the live auction. Having your Fund a Need after the live auction is a great idea if your auction has 8 items or less. If your auction has more than 8 items, I would tell you to consider moving your Fund a Need to the middle or to the beginning. Any more than 8 items, your crowd tends to get a little bored. Why? Because at any given auction, whether it's 200 people or 2,000 people, there are only 20 people in the audience who are bidding at one given time. There's usually 20 people who are interested and they have the capacity to bid really high, and they're the ones who take home all the auction items. So if your auction has 400 people, there are 480 people who are not participating in the live auction. And although it's fun to watch wealthy people spend their money on fabulous trips to Bali and Greece and winemaker dinners, not everyone can participate, which is why the Fund a Need is great. So if your live auction has 8 items or less, put your Fund a Need at the end. If your crowd is a polite crowd, meaning they're not rowdy or drunk by the end of the night, then put your Fund a Need at the end. But if your crowd is rowdy or drunk, I'm sure you will find that they do not quiet down, they do not pay attention, or they go to the bar during the Fund a Need. If it's after the live auction, they've been bored watching the wealthy people buy things for themselves, and they're gone. We call it losing the audience. So if you have a polite crowd, they stay seated, they talk at like a nice, decent level, they're not staggeringly drunk, having your Fund a Need at the end is a great option for you. If your special event is on a Friday night or a Saturday night, putting your Fund a Need at the end is a great idea. But if your event's on a school night, meaning people have to get up early in the morning for work, fight against traffic, or even just get home to the babysitter, you are competing against those forces when inevitably, as every event does, runs late and it eats into your Fund a Need time. And they get up and leave. Why? They got a 30-minute drive back home and they told the babysitter they'd be home at 10. You didn't start the Fund a Need till 9:30 and now you didn't get their donation. So if you have a Friday or a Saturday night event, perfectly fine. Leave your fund in need at the end of the live auction. Another super popular place to put the fund in need is in the middle of the live auction. So what does that mean? That means if you have more than 8 items, let's say you have 12 items, you're gonna put the fund in need after the 6th, 7th, or 8th item. You're gonna take a little break from the live auction and you're gonna slip in your fund in need. What I love about this is it breaks up a long, monotonous auction. It changes the momentum and the vibe. It brings everyone back in together. What I don't love, and what you should know, is that when you do a fund in need in the middle of a live auction, you have to sacrifice the item directly after the fund in need to the fund in need gods. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is after everyone is so incredibly generous, they're raising their paddles, they're donating money, they're not really in the mood to buy a live auction item. So we always put the dud, every live auction has one, trust me, there's an item that doesn't sell well, after the fund in need, because it isn't gonna sell well, no matter how amazing it is. And I have tried this every which way to Sunday. I put the best item after the fund in need, and it still bombs. It's the location. So now you go from a 12 item auction to like an 11 item auction because you have a bomb in there. So you might consider adding 2 or 3 more items to help make up for that offset. That's one thing to consider with putting your fund in need in the middle. Another thing to consider when putting your fund in need in the middle of your live auction is the energy. I'm a really high energy auctioneer. My live auctions are super high energy. I'm running all over the place. I'm selling things. But then we have to remember we're going from this crazy fun energy, and then we have to slow things down. We have to bring the energy down because we're gonna bring in a speaker or show a moving video, and that changes the energy. And that's not difficult, but it has to be done. So you're going from a big peak in energy, and then we're going to serious energy. And then if I'm your auctioneer, my fund needs are also high energy, which requires me to then build the energy back up and then sustain it through the end of the live auction. It's not difficult, it just takes a lot more forethought and energy from me and having the right people in the room to make sure that this lull goes back up. So consider talking to your auctioneer about that. What's their plan to bring the energy back up after the fund in need? Because you don't want the last 6, 7, 8 items in your live auction to be duds. You absolutely do not want that to happen. So consider those factors for putting the fund in need in the middle. A lot of schools do this. They know their parents are gonna give. It breaks up the really long live auction. Some schools have like 30, 50 items. It breaks it up and makes it simple. It brings the community aspect back in, and then the people who already donated, who are not gonna buy anything in the live auction, they can go to the bar and get drunk anyways because we already have their money. Which leads me to my new favorite place for the fund in need, which is first. I never ever thought I would like this, but then I had a client 3 years ago who said, we do it first and you're gonna do it first. And I tried it and it was magic. So let me tell you why I now counsel most of my clients to bump their fund in need up before the live auction. Putting your fund in need before the live auction solves a ton of problems. If you have a drunk, rowdy crowd, they're not that drunk or rowdy yet, and you get their money. If you have a crowd that leaves early, they're not leaving in the first 30 minutes, you can get their donation. If you have a crowd that hates fundraising, you don't have a lot of participation, put it up front. If you have live auction items that sell for crazy amounts of money, we're talking like $20, $30, $50,000, get your fund in need money up front. Now, many of my clients give me pushback. They say, I don't know, Abra, this doesn't sound so great. I always thought that the fund in need at the end allows people who didn't get a live auction item to spend that money in the fund in need. I used to feel that way, but I found through some research with a good friend of mine who's an event planner here in San Francisco, who's a data nut, that this is not true. that people actually come to your special event with 2 pots of money. They come with their live auction money and they come with the fund and need auction money, or the fund and need whatever, the fund and need auction money. If they don't get that trip to Bali that they were planning on spending $10,000 on, 99 times out of 100, they're not donating that $10,000 to your organization. This pot is for purchasing things, and this is considered a donation. Don't ask me why, but I have found this to be true time and time again. It's backed up with data. Other auctioneers can tell you the same thing, that your fund and need will not suffer if you do it first. And it also adds a lot of great things to your event, such as it puts your mission moment first. Forget about speeches, forget about awards, forget about keynotes. We're putting the fundraising first. We're giving it primacy. So we're saying we're here to do good work, support us, let's get the energy rocking. So what that does is it brings the energy up early, it brings the community aspect up early, it brings the mission aspect up early, it gets everybody excited, and for people who hate the fundraising, it's over with. For people who leave early, I already got their money, and we are good to go. We've already reached the goal, and now everyone can like sit back, relax, enjoy the night. Now, there's a saying in the fundraising world that I live by. Get the money early. And putting your fund and need first lets you get the money early. You will not be disappointed when you try it this way, I promise you. So that's it in a nutshell about where to put your fund and need. If you want more tips and tricks about your fund and need, head over to my blog post to check out how to make your fund and need work harder for you. I'll leave the link below. And if you'd like a copy of my free ebook, 8 Easy Steps to Your Best Fund and Need Ever, check out the link below. It's totally free. Help you raise more money at your next event. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.